Hi, is there something I can pray for you? I'm making my prayer list and I pray to God, and God answers all my prayer. Once my prayer is done, my responsibility is over. Quite convenient, right? Yet many of us do just the same, pray and leave it. Now, today we're going to examine the question, do obedience and prayer go hand in hand? Now, I heard this is a story of a little girl who came to her mother complaining about the big boys who have placed bird traps. Now, her mother comforted her and asked her to pray for the little birds. She ran into her room, and after a while, her mother saw her running out again. Then she came back home. "Where did you go, darling?" her mother asked her. And she answered, "I prayed for the birds and then went out to destroy all the traps." That is prayer in action. That's the St. James question as well. What good is faith if you do nothing with it? James chapter 2 verses 14 to 17 says, "What good is it if someone claims faith but has no deeds? If you say go in peace but do nothing for their needs, what good is it?" When we begin our journey with Christ, everything is more or less about ourselves. We think we are ready to obey God. It's not true. Yes, we are so passionate about Christ, and we would even claim that we would give our life for Christ. But believe me, obedience is difficult because we have no clue who God is. Our prayers are still about what we want. That is childish prayer. But as you mature in Christ, you will slowly understand what God really wants, what His desires are, His will. The most fascinating journey in prayer is when you sense His heart and you can hear it, when God's will becomes your will. 1 John 5:14 tells us this is the confidence we have. If we ask God anything according to His will, He will answer us. The best prayers answered by God for me are the most uncomfortable ones. When He brought my old enemies to whom I had to ask forgiveness, He gave me scarcity that I had the opportunity to depend on my friends. I struck in pride in front of my wife and I could become more humble. He gave me a brother who cried on my shoulders when I could encourage him. These are some of the prayers answered according to His will. Now, when we need a tremendous guidance to help us pray according to His will, to come to the point where we begin our prayer according to His will, God has to draft an excellent plan and reformulate everything around us to get us to that place. He implements His plans into our circumstances, changing our locations, creating events, guiding the thought process, delaying time, giving new acquaintances, a tryst with our new destiny, where our prayers are closely aligned to God's will, perfecting our obedience. Romans 8:28 says, "In all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Think of prayer and obedience like dance partners. Prayer keeps us in step with God, growing us spiritually, while obedience puts feet to our faith. When I pray for strength, obedience might mean saying no to bad habit. When I pray for others, obedience might mean showing up for them. So do prayer and obedience go hand in hand? Absolutely yes. Prayer opens the door to God's will, but obedience walks through it. Don't just pray, live your prayer. Now, here's a phrase to stick with you. Pray it, then do it. God's waiting to move with you. If you are struggling in this or have any prayer request, call the CBN prayer line on 9910401010 and the team will pray for you. God bless you.